Great. We are live. That's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, kia ora tato. Welcome back to another Q&A here at Digital Boost. Lovely to see everybody streaming in for this how to use Checkable for your business Q&A. So I got to drag in my friend Henry Stock, who is the digital product lead at Academy EX and Digital Boost. So he's come in. Checkable was his baby. So we're going to play around in Checkable. He's going to show us how we can use it for our business or how it really works. For those of you that have used it and still have questions, pop your questions into the Q&A. For those of you that have never used it and have questions, pop your questions into the Q&A. We're live streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'll be keeping an eye out for your questions there. So if you have questions there as well, I'll have a look and bring them in for Henry. So welcome, Henry. Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much, Georgia, and kia ora tātou to everyone. Thanks for coming and joining. So the session, like I'm the digital project manager with Digital Boost, and thanks for the nice intro there, Georgia. So I was involved in the building of Checkable and really enjoyed it. It's a cool bit of software, so I'm excited to be showing to you today. We'll be able to go through, show for existing users that have already interacted with it. Hopefully I can show you some functionality that will help you sort of use it more, and also bring it back to the beginning too for users that haven't used it. So it is like Checkable's a component of Digital Boost, and it's a diagnostic tool that appraises your website URL and your social media accounts in order to formulate a digital action plan for you. And the digital action plan is really a ordered plan of things to go through that will help you increase your online presence. It starts out with very simple tasks and then gets more in-depth into tasks that quite likely will require a developer, depending on what your expertise level is. Checkable, it joins the hundreds of other how-to videos and expert advice sessions and QA events already part of Digital Boost. There's also a skilled customer experience team that's ready to help guide you on your digital journey if you do need some support. We do have over 60,000 users, and the data does show that Digital Boost has increased the profitability by 17% of those who regularly use Digital Boost. The people that have used the Checkable component of it have increased their engagement with potential customers by 27%. And there's also 48% of users have started using digital tools, new or different, that have helped them save time. In the digital age, there's plenty of tools available to try and help time-poor business owners increase their productivity. I'll go into that a little bit later as well. We have a really cool questionnaire that helps find digital tools that will help you with your pain points, I suppose, within your business.
Yeah, I know. I love Checkable. I think it's a really fun tool. I think it's fun. Like you just pop your URL in there and we'll see as we go through it. But the other part that I have to mention is that it's a free tool. Like we developed this to have it on or to bring it into Digital Boost. Bringing this project into Digital Boost was such a big deal. So everyone should absolutely use it. Like if you don't do anything else on Digital Boost, definitely use Checkable. That's my take on it.
It's
My hot
definitely
take.
the hot tip of the day.
Yeah.
It's definitely like like a lot of, if you weren't in New Zealand, you'd have to be paying a subscription for a service like this. And it consolidates a lot of different softwares that we went out and tested and checked on. So from SEO to penetration, like to security checks that we run penetration tests on our websites to make sure people can't crack them. And we offer a light version of that for Checkable. So it is really good software, and it's amazing that it is free. So hopefully you'll get to enjoy it. Like I think today we'll cover how to access it and how it can help you improve your online presence. If you do have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, and hopefully Georgia can relay them through to me. I'll give little pauses along the way and hopefully we can do check-ins. So let me start screen sharing.
Awesome.
Cool. That screen's come up.
Not yet. I think it's just a little slow. Hold on. I hope that's not my end.
quite likely my end. I'm running through a VPN, so it might be a little bit slower.
Hmm. Oh, there we go. Popped right up. Yep.
Cool. So accessing Checkable, this is easiest, I think, from the menu. So there's four main categories here. We got the what is Checkable. This is a page that there's a landing page, allows you to find information about what is Checkable and is a bit of a enticer to get you to use the software. If you're like me, you're probably just going to skip it and go straight into the software, but you can always go back there and watch a video to help explain what Checkable is. Also, this video will be uploaded and available. Is that correct, Georgia?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 this will be on platform.
yeah, cool. So you'll have access to this. If there's anything I go through too quickly, you'll be able to come back and review it. There's my Checkable results. This is this main dashboard of Checkable. Gives you what your top priority is, gives you an overview of the different categories that we've divided the tests into, your digital action plan, and my business summary. I'll go through all these as we go through the presentation. The digital action plan, this is really the engine behind Checkable in itself. It produces a customized and prioritized action plan specifically for you. It's really the engine behind Checkable. And the more information you give Checkable, the more customized your digital action plan will be. The digital action plan outlines your tasks your website already passes and tells you what are your easy business wins, your business essentials, and your long-term goals. You can review your current situation and see where you are, and then start moving through this list and ticking these tasks off that will increase your online presence. These easy business wins are kind of designed to be ones that you can do yourself and generally within a day or so. As you start to get into the business essentials, they get a little bit more complicated, and depending on your expertise, might require some help from a developer or someone with the required expertise. But some of them well, depending on your expertise, you'll be able to tick off some. And then the long-term goals really does start diving a lot deeper into your website and the more the structure of your site and what you can do to improve its online presence. Then we have my business summary page. This
Wait, quick
one
question
here.
for you, Henry, before we move on. I have a quick
Yeah,
question. So, can you go back for a second? I just want to see. So the digital action plan, show me that list again.
yeah, cool. It just takes a little bit to load.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I think my question is, with some of these, you were saying, yes, you might need a software developer to help you along. But for some of these, I think we also probably have videos on Digital Boost to help, like with SEO things and other things that were listed there.
Yeah,
Do you agree
100%.
with that? Yeah.
Yeah, within each test, we've tried to give you as much information to guide you to do it yourself.
Okay.
So depending what your comfort levels is, there's a great video that goes through and outlines what we're checking for, how you can hopefully make these improvements yourself. The great thing is these learning guides. So after watching the video, you can download a learning guide, and these will go through, it outlines what it is, why it's important, what these different states of your test are. So for this one, we've got some warnings that have been detected. This is a search ranking, like an SEO report, to see how we show up on Google and other search engines. It goes through, there's a wealth of information in here and useful tips to help you along that journey. For certain tests that are more complicated, such as this one, we do have a downloadable report as a PDF that you can print out if you need to, and it goes through outlines where you can make some improvements, also what you've passed, which I think you'll need to pat yourself on the back if you are getting some passes as well. And then in the appendix, it dives a bit more into what each of these tests are. Depending on what the test is, it sort of depends on what your expertise is on whether you can make the improvements yourself.
I mean, it's such a valuable tool. You're showing all of these things. Sorry, I'll let you dive into it. I'm just getting
Yeah,
really,
yeah, cool.
mm, yeah.
So the other component is this My Business Summary. So this is a page that allows you to connect your Xero and MYOB. We've got some dummy data here, but it pulls through a balance sheet that you can add that will be printable as well. Also, you can give a summary of your online presence from Checkable under the different categories. You can add in all your business info here, company overview, objectives, key partners and metrics. You can add in other sections as you want to. Maybe you want to add in a business contingency plan for other data. And the idea is that it's a printable page that will export a PDF, and you can take that to investors or bank or business coach if you need to. It gives an overview of sort of where you're at from a digital perspective, but also your financials and any other information you want to provide in that report. So if we go back to the dashboard, this is really where your journey starts. If you've not been into Checkable, we do ask for your URL and your industry details. And it does take a while for these tests to run on your website. So it might take around 5 minutes. Great thing to do in the meantime is to use the search function up here. This will allow you to search any videos that we have on the site. So great chance to skill up on ChatGPT or SEO or anything that you're wanting information on. Generally, most of our videos are around 5 minutes, especially the how-to videos. So it's a great way to kill a bit of time. Once we've got the digital action plan ready for you, it'll come through, we'll outline what your top priority is. In this case, it's I've connected up the Academy X website and a few of the Digital Boost social media and Google accounts. This is like the top priority is the most impactful task that Checkable has decided for you based on the data we've got from your website. And there's 3 ways that we do run checks on Checkable. We have the back-end checks on your URL, and we also allow you to connect up with social media, Google Business Profile, Google Analytics, and Google Ads. And there's a 3rd way that we get information as well, and that's through answering questionnaires within Checkable. So my first task is the Google Business Profile.
So that will be different depending on your business, right? That won't always be the top priority.
Yeah, exactly. It is customized to you. Generally, this one here you need to connect into to Google. I'll show you. And so you need to actually sign in and connect Checkable to your Google Business Profile, and that will allow us to appraise your profile. I don't have a Google Business Profile account, but I'll show you the flow. So it allows you to go in, you need to authenticate with Google and say that you're happy for Digital Boost to have access to your Google service. I don't have a valid business with that, but if I did, it would bring back the data. And this is a great time to review what people see on Google, make sure that your hours are correct, even use ChatGPT to maybe make a more concise description of your business, make sure your contact number and your location is correct. The Google Business Profile is probably one of the easiest things you can do to increase your online presence for Google and your customers. You do need to have an address. That's the only caveat of it. But it's a great way to show validity of your business.
You have to have an address. So if you're an online business, what would you recommend if you're a remote business and you only work via the internet?
That's a hard one. It's I'm not too sure the way around that. Generally, you will have an address. It's just whether you want to have that online. So yeah, I don't think Google's got a a way around that. I'm pretty sure they require that you have a physical address.
Okay.
Um, yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, it's really for Google Maps so people can search. It just
Right.
yeah.
And then does your website need to be live or can it be in development mode to check? This is a question we have from
It,
Q&A.
it does need to be live. So
It
we need
does.
to be able to, yeah, unfortunately, you can try it depending on what your website platform is. We might be able to appraise the website, but we generally, the public needs to be able to view that web page in order for us to be able to appraise it and return these results.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good. So yeah, so Google My Business, Google Business Profile, you connect in, we bring back some data and allows you to see how you look visually to other customers. For the purpose of this demo, I'm going to pretend that I've done that and I've passed that test. So my next priority would be to review my shopping cart. We found that a lot of business owners don't always get to experience their business as a customer firsthand. As a business owner, you create spreadsheets, decide on brand colors, pay invoices, but you don't always interact as a customer would with your website. So for this task, we go through and review your e-commerce shopping cart experience as a customer and benchmark it against best practices for that experience. So for this one, it pops open a question modal and you go through, and it's great to do alongside your own shopping cart and be like, okay, do I show the number of items in the cart? Yeah. Do I show an image for each product in the cart? Unfortunately not. Uh, do I show the exact product name? Yeah. Do I show a detailed description? No. Do I allow the customers to adjust quantity? So you go through, add in the answers that are applicable to your website and your shopping cart experience. And then from here, it will give you back an overview of what improvements you could make to increase that customer experience for your users when they go through your checkout. If you hover over these, there is a state that will explain more information about it. And from here, that gives an overview of what your status is for that particular test. So that will stay part of your digital action plan as an incomplete task until the time where you go back, come through, make the necessary changes, and then re-answer the questionnaire. We've also got a few other ones similar to this where we ask a questionnaire and then give you back different different experience, I suppose. So one I really like is the email marketing flow, where we ask you a range of questions about your business, whether you send out emails to existing customers, have you built up a database of different users, do you segment the emails, and based on all these different answers, we come back with a playlist for you. It will be great to watch, give you the information you need to hopefully learn more about your email marketing and what you can do to build up that customer database and hopefully market to them more accurately. There's definitely a lot of videos on Digital Boost that can help you along that journey. And George has done some really amazing QA sessions as well with expert marketers.
Yeah, and if you don't want to sit through those, hour long or 2 hour long, well, the great thing is you can speed through them. You've got the little setting. So if you want to watch it on, half, 1.5 speed or 2 speed, I might sound like a chipmunk, but that's okay. You don't need to hear me.
Yeah. Another good one is productivity tools as well. I mentioned earlier, but from here we go through and there's these 5 overall categories: digital marketing, project management, collaboration, admin, and finance. And as you go through these, you answer questions. We figure out how technical, well, I suppose the state of your current pain points. And from that, it recommends videos that you can watch on what you can use for project management. Trello is a really great tool. If you want a collaboration tool, Miro is great as well. So from here, it allows you to define what your pain points are, and hopefully find a tool that will help relieve that pressure point. I think the research does show that once you find the right tool that can increase your productivity, it really does compound and saves you a lot of time, which I think is the main problem for small businesses is never having enough time.
Yeah, and I think in that way with the checkable reports, if it can be viewed as super overwhelming. Once you get the report, it could be like, oh my God, I have all these things I have to do. I would really focus on all the great things that you're already doing, that your business has already accomplished, all the little green marks, like yay. And then just attack your plan one by one. It's pretty I, in some way it's then focused, right? So you can just go, oh, check that, check that, check that. So that's actually nice and better than not knowing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good point. Like, definitely pat yourself on the back for the things that are passing. Like, we run a lot of different tests, so it's great that you already got a lot that are green and passed, and just work your way through the digital action plan. That's what it's there for. Hopefully, the early, easier ones are easy to implement, build the confidence. And then as you start to get more and more into it, you might need to reach out for some expert help. But getting 100% isn't always the goal. It's really making sure that you're doing these low-hanging fruit at least to increase your online presence. So all the tests are broken into these 5 main categories, plus the productivity tools functionality. So within compliance, this category dives into your website safety from behind the scenes with such items as your SSL certificate. So that's making sure that the connection you have between your website and your customer is secure. So if they're making payment details or transferring any of their private information, email, name, that it's through a secure connection. And this also gives making sure that you have given customers the easy access to information they need, such as your terms and conditions, privacy policy, and cookie policy. Um, once again, once you do come into these pages about a test, there's always a status, gives you a bit of information around what we're checking for, what is it, why is it important, and then within these next steps as well, you can also will provide you information on what you should do. Again, these videos are great, and so is the learning guide. It sort of are there to help demystify the test that we've run for you. So visibility, this is really around your SEO presence for search engines. It's so a lot of it's around connecting up your Google accounts that we have. Checkable was built in partnership with Google. So we were able to get expertise and build out connections with their products. The Google Ads functionality is really nice. It's if you haven't used Google Ads but have an account, then we've got a smart campaign builder within Checkable. So from there, you can build out a very easy and quick campaign within Google Ads. With these Google products, we really did try and demystify this amazing amount of product that they have that can be quite confusing to navigate around. So we've tried to take the components that we think are good for a small business out, make it a lot easier for you to interact with instead of getting lost in quite a complicated bit of software. Things like the sitemap, these are great. This is one of the very top priorities that you should have. It allows search engines to appraise your site and direct people where they need to go. But just as a quick reference, if you search what does Academy X do, this allows the search engine to reference your website and send people directly to the About Us page with some information from that page. So having the sitemap there definitely helps search engines. Once we get into the customer experience side of things, this category looks at how users experience your website. Test it, check if you send confirmation emails or autoresponders to users when they submit a contact form or make a purchase. I know I feel a lot safer when I do get an order summary from in my emails directly after making an online purchase. There are a few times where I've made a purchase, I can see the money's gone from my bank account, but I haven't had any confirmation from the e-commerce shop to say that I've got my order. Having these autoresponder or confirmation emails definitely helps build that trust with a customer that if they've submitted a contact form, that you've got it and you're going to reach out to them about it when you have time. We also review your accessibility of your website. This is how customers interact with the site, and it ranges from a lot of different things. So accessibility can be the contrast levels of the copy or the text that's on your website to make sure it's easily readable for people that might struggle with, let's say, pink on white. Also making sure that the font size is large enough that it's easy to read, making sure that screen readers can see that if this is a play icon and a video, or if there are images or functionality such as this button here, that a screen reader knows that will download your full accessibility report. It's not it's something that you always think about yourself, but it's definitely good to review because it is important for the people and makes a big difference for the people that do need these particular aids. And search engines really do recognize and give you a high ranking for having good accessibility. How are we going there, Georgia? Any questions?
No, not yet. But if anyone, well, we had one, but if anyone wants to add any of their questions, pop them into the Q&A. I'm loving the idea of the accessibility too. And I think we did a session. I want to say there's a session on Checkable with Emily from last year. We really go into accessibility in that one, or maybe it was the user experience one. So don't quote me on which one it is. You can either look up the CX UX event we did, or another Checkable where we really dive into your user experience when they're in your website. Probably the user experience one. Okay, I'm done now. Go
Yeah,
ahead, continue.
that's probably a good one. If you search up in the search function here for Checkable and then check the QAs, Emily's a really great UX designer. So she built a lot of this user interface, and she's got a lot of knowledge. Definitely the accessibility becomes more and more apparent, and so it's good to review it.
Well, especially as you're scrolling through websites these days, you want to make sure that not only is your website eye-catching, which has been great that we've been able to, I don't know if some of you have gone in to our community page, our Facebook community page, and thrown your URL in there, and our support team has been giving you some tips and tricks on how to improve your website. But as we're scrolling through the world, being able to stop on something and be able to read it, and it not only catches your eye, but you can absorb what's there. For a lot of different people, I think it's really important. You want that for your website. You're going to get more business, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I did I think Target in the US got fined quite a substantial amount of money a few years ago for not being very accessible on their website. So it is, yeah, it's one of these things that's good to keep an eye on, good to make
Yeah.
sure you've got everything you can to help everyone that is searching the internet.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. My people like to sue. So
Yeah. Go. And then obviously you can connect up your social media as well to the Checkable. And the idea behind this is that you're really staying active on your social media. And we've got this really great functionality where you can, once you're connected and we know how old your business is, how many employees you have, and what your industry is, we can pull through some data and benchmark you against businesses like yours. So here we can see that the amount of followers is really high for this specific user profile. But allows you to sort of gauge how well you're doing against other businesses that are similar age, size, and industry to you. You can also pull through what your most popular post is in the last 2 weeks. This is really good to keep an eye on, so you can realize what content you're putting out there is getting the most engagement with users, and try and crack that code on what you can do to make it more enjoyable and more engaging for users. And then
I'm
further
chuffed that it was my post, but also that face. Can we?
I know. I did think about that when I was
Thanks, Henry. That's all right.
I know, but it was most engaging.
Awesome.
And then also you can filter through back as far as 90 days if you want, and rate it on the most amount of comments or the most amount of likes and reactions to help define which content you use putting out there is getting the most engagement. Cool. And then similar to accessibility, which that accessibility component is definitely a long-term goal. But there's also the site speed. So search engines really like it when your web page does load quickly. This one's a very in-depth report. You can download a bit more of a prioritized plan. We can download the full report. But there are some easy wins within this that I think are great for any business owner that's putting content on their website to use. So this website, tinypng.com, this is a great site to compress your photos before you load them into your website. This will mean that your web page is likely to render a lot quicker and increase that score, which Google definitely appreciates. It's a bit of a compromise. Like this score, getting 100 is pretty much impossible unless you maybe just have a white page with a bit of text on it. So it's a compromise. 100 is great, but realistically, just making sure this score doesn't drop too low is regular maintenance that maybe every 3 months, have a look at it, see what you can do, see what these easy priorities are, just to keep that speed, because it will deteriorate over time. If you add video content to your website, then that's going to slow it down, but you also want that video there to showcase and make your website more personable. So it's a compromise between having an interactive website and also having a good speed. Yeah, I think that's a pretty high level summary of Checkable and the different categories, going into a few of the different tests that we have, and also the digital action plan really being the engine behind Checkable, and hoping that it's there, something to guide you to start working on your website, whether it's setting aside X amount of hours per week, or engaging with a developer to try and help you increase your online presence. Yeah, the internet definitely evolves and is continually evolving. So we're always making improvements to the back-end tests that we do run on Checkable as new web platforms become available or industry standards change. If you do see any false negatives on the site, please let us know. So maybe we do find it quite hard to appraise a website and see if there's a cookie policy, especially if it's a policy that just pops open in a modal. So if you do see any things that you're like, I do actually have a cookie policy, but we're not finding it, then definitely feel free to reach out to the support team and let us know, because that will help us improve the accuracy of the platform. You can always get to the support team through the contact us badge at the bottom. They're very helpful, got a lot of knowledge. Yeah, I think that's more or less it. Unless there's any other details that would like to go into.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone has questions, please pop them in. I've got a question. So for those who haven't used it, you just put your URL in, it generates the report. And you also have those little questionnaires, as you said, just a little recap there. But then going forward, you don't have to put your URL. Does it constantly update for you, or do you have to run the program again?
No, so once we've got your URL and you've connected your social medias, or given us these inputs, it all gets stored within within the software, and we'll run tests in the back end. Generally, when you log in, we'll rerun the test just to make sure everything's up to date. But you can also, from the next steps, you can rerun the test as well, and that will trigger the software to appraise your website. And if you've made changes to whatever the test is, we should be able to see that more or less instantly. Some things like sitemap takes a while for Google to re-index your website, so it might take a few days before it will show in Checkable.
Okay.
But generally, as you come through, you can rerun the tests. Also on login, we trigger the whole batch of tests again to make sure we're feeding you up-to-date results for your website.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Henry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a quick look through our streaming here and see if anyone's got any questions for us. And of course, if you're watching the recording later, or you come up with a question later because, it's early in the morning and this could be a little complicated to absorb fully, just reach out to the support team. Or Henry, can we reach out to you directly, or is that a big no-no?
Put me on the spot. Yeah, for sure. You can reach out. It's no problem at all. I'll put my details up here.
Yeah.
So you can come through, even if you reach out through support, that will get to me, or my email's there. Or you can reach out through LinkedIn if you need to.
Yeah, and our support team is, as Henry said, super knowledgeable in all things. In case you haven't noticed, if you haven't reached out to the support team, please do. They're quite brilliant, and it always blows my mind how much knowledge they have or where they can find information that we need, within a few minutes, which is great. They're almost like little mini robots, but they're not. They're actual people.
They are indeed. You can even have a one-on-one session with them and see them face to face. So
Absolutely.
no, they're really good and help you guide you through Digit Boost as well. Like they know all the content, so it's a great place to reach out if you do need help from a wide range of tasks that you have, whether it's trying to demystify marketing or Facebook, setting up
Yeah,
email campaigns, or there's a
all
lot
of
of
it.
knowledge. Mm.
Yeah. And again, as I always like to, call out to you, if you have any questions about anything that maybe we don't have on the platform, or you'd like to see an event about something in particular, I'm trying to get in someone who's going to be a Meta Business Suite expert. Fingers crossed. I'm not there yet. I know that was a request from someone, so I'm just letting you know I'm working on it. I'm doing it. And I'm a huge fan of Digital Boost, not just because I work here, but because I think it's an amazing organization and an amazing product on its own to help small businesses here in Aotearoa. So help me help you. Let me know what you need, and I will try and get that to you. So also, just a quick one as well, Henry. Sorry to usurp your time, but we've been talking about a little bit. You mentioned productivity tools and how Checkable can help you figure out, oh yeah, maybe like these different digital products and digital tools that can help your business. There is, if you weren't RSVP'd for the event that I did yesterday, which is a little extra event that I did with Academy EX about their digital skills for the workplace course, that starts on the 7th of May. Reach out to support if you want the video of that, just so you can have a look at what we did. We went over Canva. We played around with Canva yesterday, which was a lot of fun. It was really hands-on. But Canva is just one of the little things that Digital Skills for the Workplace does. It's a 7-week course, and it covers all of these tools in 7 weeks. So you've got all your Google Sheets and your Google, Docs, and then you've got your Miros and your ChatGPTs and your Geminis and Canva and a bunch of other things that I'm not even mentioning. So even though we have those on Digital Boost and you can go in because Checkable says, oh, learn a little bit more about Miro. So then you're like, oh, I'll watch that 5-minute video. But if you want all that information all together in one place, it's a 7-week course. And oh yeah, it's free, completely funded. So probably should have led with that. I love free things. That's why Digital Boost. I love you, Digital Boost. Lovely to see you, Henry. Thank you again for your time and for coming and sharing all things Checkable with us. Thank you. Those of you who had questions, again, reach out to support@digitalboost.co.nz or Henry. And I will see you all for our next event on Thursday, I think is our next event. We'll see. I'll have to check my schedule.
Thank you so much, Georgia. Been an absolute pleasure.
And I'll see you all soon. Matewa.
Bye-bye.